Your Royal Highness Meghan Markle, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Can we start with the proposal and the actual moment of your engagement? When did it happen? How did it happen?
It happened a few weeks ago, early this month, here at our cottage. Just a standard, typical night for us.
It's a cozy night. It was, what were we doing? Just roasting chicken and
Roasting
having
a chicken, trying to roast a chicken.
trying to roast a chicken, and it was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could barely let you finish proposing. I said, "Can I say yes now?"
She didn't even let me finish. She said, "Can I say yes? Can I say yes now?" And then there was hugs, and I had the ring in my finger, and I was like, "Can I give you the ring?" And she goes, "Oh yes, the ring." So no, it was a really nice moment. It was just the two of us, and I think I managed to catch her by surprise as well. So.
Yeah.
And this is how long after you first met?
It would be a year and a half, a little bit more than that.
No, just about a year and a half. Yeah.
Which for most people would be quite a whirlwind. Is that how it's felt to you?
I don't think that I would call it a whirlwind in terms of our relationship. Obviously, there have been layers attached to how public it has become after we had a good 5-6 months almost with just privacy, which was amazing. But no, I think we were able to really have so much time just to connect, and we never went longer than 2 weeks without seeing each other, even though we were obviously doing a long-distance relationship. So it's we made it work.
How did you first meet?
Yes, we first met. We were introduced actually by a mutual friend, who
we should protect her privacy and not reveal too much of that.
And but it was literally through her, and then we met once and then twice back to back, 2 dates in London. Last July,
yes,
beginning of July, and then it was, I think, about 3, maybe 4 weeks later that I managed to persuade her to come and join me in Botswana, and we camped out with each other under the stars. She came and joined me for 5 days out there, which was absolutely fantastic. So then we were really by ourselves, which was crucial to me to make sure that we had a chance to get to know each other.
Yeah.
But the friend who introduced you, was she trying to set you up?
Yes, it was definitely a setup. It was a blind date.
It was a blind date,
and,
for sure.
And it's so interesting because we talk about it now, and even then, because I'm from the States, you don't grow up with the same understanding of the royal family, and so while I now understand very clearly there's a global interest there, I didn't know much about him, and so the only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I had one question. I said, "Well, is he nice?" Because if he wasn't kind, it just didn't seem like it would make sense. And so we went and met for a drink, and then I think very quickly into that we said, "Well, what are we doing tomorrow? We should meet again."
What are we doing tomorrow? Let's meet again. And then it was like, right, diaries. We need to get the diaries out and find out how we're going to make this work, because I was off to Africa for a month. She was working, and we just said, right, where's the gap? And the gap happened to be in the perfect place.
So how much did you, Prince Harry, know about Meghan? Had you seen her on TV?
No, I'd never even heard about her until this friend said Meghan Markle. I was like, right, okay, give me a bit of background. what's going on here? So no, I'd never watched Suits. I'd never heard of Meghan before, and I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and there she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to really have to up my game. I'm going to sit down and make sure I've got a good chat.
I think for both of us, though, it was really refreshing, because given that I didn't know a lot about him, everything that I've learned about him, I learned through him, as opposed to having grown up around different news stories or tabloids or whatever else. Anything I learned about him and his family was what he would share with me, and vice versa. So for both of us, it was just a really authentic and organic way to get to know each other.
And was that quite refreshing for you in the way that you've been brought up, with a lot of people knowing a lot about you? Was it refreshing?
Or thinking they know.
Or thinking they know.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was hugely refreshing to be able to get to know someone who isn't necessarily within your circle, doesn't know much about me, I don't know much about her. So to be able to start almost afresh, right from the beginning, and getting to know each other step by step. And then taking that huge leap of only 2 dates, and then going effectively on holiday together in the middle of nowhere, and showing a tent together and all that kind of stuff. It was No, it was fantastic. It was absolutely amazing to get to know her as quickly as I did.
And starting a long-distance relationship, you were working on Suits, so you had, I imagine, a packed filming schedule. You've got lots of commitments of your own. How hard was it to keep things going?
It was, yeah.
It was just a choice, right? I think that very early on when we realized we were going to commit to each other, that we knew we had to invest the time and the energy and whatever it took to make that happen. And so yes, with the filming schedule, it was not the easiest because it of course included a lot of travel back and forth, but...
I don't think you've had any idea what time zone you've been on for the last year and a half.
No.
Coming over here 4 days or a week and then going back and then straight into filming the next day, 4 a.m. wake-up calls on a Monday,
Yes.
Straight into set, you know. And
Right off the plane and straight to set,
yeah,
and just coming
I'm just
back
trying
and
to
doing it again.
trying to stay as close as possible, but you know, on 2 different time zones and 5 hours apart does have its challenges. But we made it work and now we're here, so we're thrilled.
But in the case of your relationship, unlike for most people, there's this whole layer of what it means to get involved with someone from the royal family. How much of a sense did you have, Meghan, of the enormity of what you were getting into, what it might mean for your life?
I think I can very safely say, as naive as it sounds now, having gone through this learning curve in the past year and a half, I did not have any understanding of just what it would be like. I don't think either of us did that. We both said that, even though we knew that it would be.
Yeah, I tried to warn you as much as possible, but I think both of us were totally surprised by the reaction after the first 5-6 months of when we had to ourselves of what actually happened from then. So I think you can have as many conversations as you want and try and prepare as much as possible, but we were totally unprepared for what happened after that.
The scrutiny.
Well, all sorts.
Well, I mean, I think also because there's a misconception that because I have worked in the entertainment industry that this would be something I would be familiar with. But even though I'd been on my show for, I guess, 6 years at that point, and working before that, I've never been part of tabloid culture. I've never been in pop culture to that degree, and lived relatively quiet life, even though I focused so much on my job. And so that was a really stark difference out of the gate. But and I think we were just hit so hard at the beginning with a lot of mistruths that I made the choice to not read anything, positive or negative. It just didn't make sense, and instead we focused all of our energies just on nurturing our relationship.
On us, yeah.
On us.
And some of that scrutiny, and you ended up making a very public statement about it, some of that scrutiny was centred around your ethnicity, Meghan. When you realised that, what did you think?
Of course it's disheartening. You know, it's a shame that that is the climate in this world, to focus that much on that, or that would be discriminatory in that sense. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, I'm really just proud of who I am and where I come from, and we have never put any focus on that. We've just focused on who we are as a couple. And so when you take all those extra layers away and all of that noise, I think it makes it really easy to just enjoy being together and tune all the rest of that out.
But now that it is all official, Prince Harry, do you have that sense that the combination of the two of you, your different backgrounds, that you together represent something new for the royal family?
I don't know if it's something new. I think it's for me it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And you know, for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view. So you know, the fact that I fell in love with Meghan so incredibly quickly was a sort of confirmation to me that everything, all the stars were aligned. Everything was just perfect. It was this beautiful woman just sort of literally tripped and fell into my life. I fell into her life, and the fact that I know the fact that she'll be really unbelievably good at the job part of it as well, is obviously a huge relief to me, because she'll be able to deal with everything else that comes with it. But no, you know, we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, you know, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that, yeah.
And Meghan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes, you'd been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I mean,
Sing.
Can you imagine? No, I'm not a singer. I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate, I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do.
And it's an immense change. You're getting a new country out of it, a husband obviously, but also giving up your
nice,
career.
This is nice. Yes. But I don't see it as giving anything up. I just see it as a change.
It's a new challenge. It's a
new chapter, right? And also keep in mind, I've been working on my show for 7 years. So we were very, very fortunate to be able to have that sort of longevity on a series. And for me, once we hit the 100 episode marker, I thought, you know what, I have ticked this box, and I feel really proud of the work I've done there. And now it's time to, as you said, work as a team with you. Yeah.
But do you have that sense of responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you're asking Meghan to do?
Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realised, actually, this is, you know, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me. But we still had to sit down on the sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, frank conversations with her to say, look, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's, it's not easy for anybody. But I know that, at the end of the day, she chooses me, and I choose her. And therefore, whatever we have to tackle together or individually will always be us together as a team. So, I think she's capable.
That's so nicely said, isn't it?
I don't know. She's capable of anything. And together, as I said, there's a hell of a lot of stuff and work that needs doing. At the moment, for us, it's going to be making sure that our relationship is always put first. But no, look, both of us have passions for wanting to make change for good, and with lots of young people running around the Commonwealth, that's where we're going to spend most of our time, hopefully.
And it was really one of the first things we connected on. It was one of the first things we started talking about when we met, was just the different things that we wanted to do in the world and how passionate we were about seeing change. I think that was that's what got date 2 in the books, probably.
Plenty to talk about.
Children?
Not currently, no. No, of course, I think one step at a time, and hopefully we'll start a family in the near future.
Have you met each other's families, I imagine?
Yes, his family's been so welcoming, and
You've met quite a few of them, actually.
I have, on both sides of his family, his mom's side as well, which has been really important to me too. But yes, the family has been great, and over the past year and a half, we've just had a really nice time getting to know them and progressively helping me feel a part of not just the institution, but also part of the family, which has been really, really special.
Trying to track them down and make sure that they're around at the same time that she's popping in without telling too many people. And so we've actually done incredibly well to make sure that you've met all the key people.
So does that mean a lot of the time that you've been together in this last year and a half, you've been at home a lot?
Yes.
Yes.
No, we had to sort of reverse the whole process, and cozy nights in front of the television, cooking dinner with just the two of us by ourselves in our little cottage, rather than going out for dinner and being seen in public. So we reversed the whole process, which is it's provided different opportunities, and it's made us a hell of a lot closer in a shorter space of time.
That's true.
That's without question. So, if anybody else at home is listening, then maybe slow down on the dates and maybe spend more time at home. But no, it's for us. It's an opportunity to really get to know each other without other people looking or trying to take photos on their phones and all that kind of stuff. With that comes with the job, comes with the role. But
Well,
where
it's like-
possible,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we were able to really get to know each other that way, but also then to go and have friends over for dinner, or to go to his family for tea, or any of those sort of things. And even, just to take the time to be able to go on long country walks and just talk.
We've been all over the place
Have you met the Queen?
I have, yes.
a couple of times.
Yeah,
What was
it's
that
true, a
like?
couple of times. It's incredible. I think, to be able to meet her through his lens, not just with his honor and respect for her as the monarch, but the love that he has for her as his grandmother. All of those layers have been so important for me, so that when I met her, I had such a deep understanding and, of course, incredible respect for being able to have that time with her. And we've had she's an incredible woman.
And the corgis took to you straight away.
That's true.
For the last 33 years being barked at, this one walks in absolutely nothing.
Just laying on
just
my feet during tea.
wagging
It was very
tails,
sweet.
And it's just like, oh.
That has to be a good sign. Speaking of dogs, have you brought yours to the UK?
Well, I have 2 dogs that I've had for quite a long time, both my rescue pups, and one is now staying with very close friends, and my other little guy he's in the UK. He's been here for a while.
Okay, let's hope he adjusts well.
I think he's doing just fine.
What was it like introducing Meghan to your father and your brother?
What was it like? It was exciting. I mean, I've been seeing her for a period of time when I literally didn't tell anybody at all, and then William was longing to meet her, and so was Catherine. So, they're being our neighbours. We managed to get that in quite a few times now, and Catherine's been absolutely
Wonderful.
amazing, as is William as well. Fantastic support, and then my father as well. We had a couple of. No, more than that.
We've had
A handful of teas and meetings and all sorts of gatherings over at his place as well. So, no, the family together have been absolutely, solid support, and my grandparents as well have been wonderful throughout this whole process, and they've known for quite some time. So how they haven't told anybody is again a miracle in itself. But no, the whole family have come together and have been a huge amount of support.
They've been amazing.
And Meghan, your parents, do you think, very happy for you, obviously. Do you think
Yes.
they have worried at all about the scale of what you're getting into?
Well, I'm sure at the onset, both my parents and my close friends were concerned, because we got very quickly swept up in a media storm that, as I shared, was not part of my life before that. But they also had never seen me so happy. And I think also once my friends, were able to really meet Harry and my mom, who we spent a lot of time with, who was so much fun.
Your mum's amazing.
It was just, it was just obvious that no matter what we were being put through, that it was just temporary, and that we were going to be able to get through that. So everyone was really happy with me. He's talked to my dad a few times, hasn't been able to meet him just yet, but it's all been worth every effort.
Yeah, it's been great.
Your ring.
Oh yes.
Tell us about your ring.
The ring is obviously yellow gold, because that's what, her favourite, and the main stone itself I sourced from Botswana, and the little diamonds either side are from my mother's jewellery collection, to make sure that she's with us on this crazy journey together. And
It's beautiful, and he designed it. It's incredible.
yeah,
Yeah,
make sure it stays on that finger.
of course.
What does it mean to you, Meghan, to have those stones on your finger that once belonged to Princess Diana?
I think everything about Harry's thoughtfulness and the inclusion of that, and obviously not being able to meet his mom, it's so important to me to know that she's a part of this with us, and I think in being able to meet his aunts and also to be like Julia and just different people who are so important to his mom, I'm able to in some way know a part of her through them, and of course through him, and it's incredibly special. And to be able to have this, which sort of links where you come from, and Botswana, which is important to us, and it's perfect.
What do you think your mother would have thought of Meghan or said about Meghan?
Oh, they'd be thick as thieves. Without question. I think she would be over the moon, jumping up and down, so excited for me. But then, as I said, would have probably been best friends with Meghan. So no, it is days like today when I really miss having her around and miss being able to share the happy news. But with the ring and with everything else that's going on, I'm sure she's
with us.
I'm sure she's with us. Jumping up and down somewhere else.
Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, thank you both very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.